Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Movies That You've Never Heard of month. This time I'm reviewing a 2010 thriller, independent crime thriller from, from the director of Stephen Milburn Anderson. So you probably never heard of him. It's the movie Cash with Chris Hemsworth. Yes, this is before he played Thor. Sean Bean, who dies in everything usually, and a beautiful actress named Victoria Perfetta. She's the hot chick in the movie. Get Rich or Die Trying. Yeah, I bet you never heard of this movie. I never heard of it until I rented it at Blockbuster a few years ago. This is the synopsis. A stroke of good luck turns lethal for Sam Felon, Chris Hemsworth, and his wife Leslie, Victoria Perfetta, when they are forced with a life-changing decision that brings strange and sinister Pike Kubik, Sean Bean, to their doorstep. As Pike leads Sam and Leslie on a tumultuous adventure through the streets of Chicago, each is pulled deeper and deeper into a desperate spiral of deception and violence, all in the name of cash. 108 minutes, so it's not as short as other movies, but it's shorter than any Avengers movie, and it's R rated, which an Avengers movie will never be. I know that. And this is pretty decent. I mean, if you never heard of this movie, well, it's in Chris Hemsworth's filmography, and it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, when I rented it, I was like, "Oh, cool, Chris Hemsworth in an early film before he grew the facial hair and got bulked up for the Thor movies and the Avengers films." And this is Sean Bean way after Lord of the Rings, and I think right before Game of Thrones, before he died in that. And yeah, the movie kind of went direct to video because it never got a big release in the U.S. And Stephen Milburn Anderson. Let me see what else he's done. Oh, he passed away, so rest in peace. He died in 2015. He was known for South Central. He directed Hearts of Stone in 1988, Dead Man Can't Dance, and then this was his last film before he died, the directing wise. So yeah, rest in peace, sir. He did a good job. The film is shot beautifully. The film, it's well directed. It's not edited to shit. It's not an action movie. It's more of a thriller because Sean Bean wants the money, and Chris Hemsworth and Victoria Perfetta want to keep it, and by any means necessary because they found it. But the thing is that Sean Bean has a twin that's in prison, and that comes into play later. And yeah, and here's the thing. Victoria Perfetta, there's a scene where she has to seduce Pike, Sean Bean, and she looks very sexy in the movie. But this is another thing that happens. After Pike finds the felons, he asks for the money back. They return whatever money they have left, and they bought a new car, furniture, and other minor expenses. Pike forces the felon to rob stores in order to get him the amount of money the felon spent, which they do, reluctantly at first, but later with more of taste for it. After robbing over 10 stores in the course of a few days, they are still short on money, and Sam proposes to rob a bank. There he changes the guns without bullets, with Pike gave him with that of the guards, and Leslie fatally shoots Pike in a struggle. Yeah, again, because Sean Bean has to die and everything. Pike's car and his corpse are sent to a junkyard where a worker is bribed into destroying the car. The body. The felons again keep the money but return all they stole, adding damages for people who got hurt in the course of the robberies. Unbeknownst to them, Reese, who originally threw the cash out of his room, has been released from prison. Reese is Sean Bean's twin character. So it kind of has a sequel bait ending, but it's still very enjoyable for what it is. And I think it was overlooked. If you've never seen this movie, I think it's worth a watch. At least if you could find it on a streaming service or if you could find it on DVD, it's worth a watch. And it has its fan base. I mean, it got a 6 on IMDb, so it's a lot better than other direct-to-video films with like Liam Hemsworth. And yeah, it's fast-paced. It doesn't take too long to get through, and basically like a Bonnie and Clyde movie, but in recent, in progressive country. It's not like an old film. And this is one of the I'm sorry, Chris Hemsworth's better films. That's not a Marvel movie because MIB International sucked. Ghostbusters sucked. The less we say about that, the better. Black Hat was one of his biggest bombs. So this is actually a good one that he did. If you want to watch something with it, and it's R rated, so it's not for kids. He has some sexual content, yeah, because him and his wife and Victoria Perfetta doesn't get enough credit. I think she should be big. I don't know why she hasn't gotten like a Marvel role. The only Marvel role she got a guest spot on Agent Carter with that freaking no hack with that no talent Haley Atwell, who's going to be in MI7. Yeah, that wasn't needed. She could have anybody could have done that role, but she's really good, very sexy, very attractive, very good actress. Her last film was she was in Bombshell, uncredited. So Margot Robbie, freaking Charlize Theron, and Nicole Kidman get that movie, and this beautiful woman, American actress, doesn't get nothing. And by the way, Chris Hemsworth does use an American accent in this movie, so it's weird to hear him not sound like Thor, but it's pretty decent because he sounds a lot better than freaking his brother Liam sounds dead inside, and he's the lesser of the Hemsworths. But well, at least with Chris, you know you get what you come for. He has a very manly voice, and it's in every movie he's in. Even when he was Fat Thor in Endgame, he still has that manly voice. And there's a reason he's a star, and his brother just fizzled out after Independence Day Resurgence. But yeah, this movie's fun, and if you never heard of it, because yeah, it's from 2010, and it was not released in theaters theatrically in the U.S. I think in the UK and Canada it probably was, but here it wasn't released mainstream. I would have seen it in the theater. I like seeing independent theaters movies in independent theaters. So yeah, give it a watch. If you've never heard of it, it's worth it for this woman too. Because look at that face. That is a beautiful, beautiful woman. Nice smile, beautiful eyes, very clean skin, and not foreign, which is a nice plus for me. But yeah, Cash is worth your time. I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue tied. I'm tired. I haven't slept in the last couple of days. I've been doing these videos on a whim. But anyway, go watch Cash. That's CA $ H. So you don't get another movie called Cash and then you're like, no, it's with Chris Hemsworth on the front. It's worth your time at least once. And it's not for everybody, but it was a movie I liked for what it was. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review.